Here is Daria Nashat, founder of Women in Politics, sharing her story at the monthly leadership check-in.
Great. Well, it's such an honor and pleasure to be here again. As Neve mentioned, I'm a community builder, a peace builder, and my background is in international development and refugee return. And most recently, I've been co-founding a network for women in politics here in Brussels. I would like to share my story, and then I will get to questions and the conversation. So I grew up in Berlin on an island. And at the time, it was surrounded by a wall and by a death strip and by landmines. And there were soldiers with machine guns and dogs. And the wall had always been there. You know, for me, this was normal. They said, the politicians of Eastern Germany said, you know, this wall would be there for 1,000 years. So I never really gave it any thought. And then on this cold November day, some 30 years ago, I wake up and the unimaginable happened. The wall was gone. And that morning I came on the 10th of November, actually, the day after it happened during the night, I came to school. I was a teenager, I was 14 years old, and everyone was talking about this. The wall is gone, the wall is gone, and we couldn't believe it. And it was my history teacher, actually, who said, you know, go, you have to go. You have to see this historic event from close by. So we were this bunch of students rushing to the different border crossings that were opening one after the other. They were announcing it on the radio, which one would open after the other. And I just remember, you know, being crammed into the metro and going to the Brandenburg Gate. But it is interesting because I don't remember clearly that we climbed on top of the wall, which we did. We were standing on top of the wall at the Brandenburg Gate. What I remember so clearly were the people, thousands and thousands of people who were coming over to my side of the city, and the energy and this sense of joy and freedom and celebration. It was an energy I had never felt before or experienced ever since, actually. And it was an experience and a sense of such a deep interconnectedness. We belong to each other. All these people in the middle of a city, still the wall was still standing, but it had lost all of its meaning. People had overcome their fear and they were free, truly free. I saw people dancing, singing, laughing in the streets. I saw strangers embracing each other and holding each other. And I just remember the sense of a deep, deep shared humanity. It didn't matter that day where we came from, what our parents did, what our educational background was. We were really just brothers and sisters. There were no strangers and there were no masks. It was just a sense of deep belonging and a joy and an energy that is hard to describe today. This was a very magical moment, and I will always remember it. And it actually helped me and led me into the work that I did afterwards, going into peace building work, trying to understand conflicts, the results of war on people, on populations. And as I've been thinking of this event, the longer I think about it, and especially right now, as we're going through this pandemic, and as we are in this time, as Neve mentioned, a threshold time of a deep, profound transformation, I'm wondering, what can we learn? What kind of leadership lessons can we learn from those days and from this historic event? And I believe that this is the time to tear down another wall, a very powerful one. It is the invisible wall of fear that has become our new normal. Growing up in Berlin, in West Berlin at the time, I could not imagine a world without the wall. It was my normal. It had always been there. I never thought about it. I never challenged it. I just could not imagine. And I think today, what we need to do as leaders is to challenge the illusion that this wall of fear is serving us. And I think that the first act and our task is to dare to take off our own masks first. Because only when we take off our masks, as I saw 30 years ago, when we really truly see and show ourselves, can we become alive. And I think that is the energy I felt then. This sense of aliveness, this sense of belonging that I hope and I wish for and I see is possible when we as leaders, all of us, start taking off our masks first. Because it's not only that we give permission to others to do the same, but it is that we ourselves, I believe, can only come alive when we take off these masks. So this is a story I wanted to share with you, and I hope that we can have a conversation, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on what it takes to take off the masks and actually to dismantle this invisible wall that has become part of our life.
Have your say and join us at www.thedialoguecode.com.